I think you're into it. I love this like setup that the actors have. This like pretty like the bar and flowers. It's lovely.
All the booze.
I gotta say, you guys look like you're hosting like Regis and Kathy Lee or something like that. You look like you have your own like daytime very drunk talk show.
Right.
It's very good.
This is like the
Hello, everyone.
I would trust both of them to tell us about the new Pilates craze.
I agree. Hi, everyone on Facebook. You came in the middle of a conversation, so good luck. But also, thank you for joining us on this opening night. I am virtually in the No Theater Underground right here, but it doesn't look like this right now because, for one, it's not the Fringe Festival of whatever year this Fringe Festival was. Also, currently our underground is our mission control for our live broadcast studio, which is very exciting, which we will probably highlight in this Zoom window at some point. I don't know what this looks like on Facebook. I'm not watching it right now because the delay is probably about 15 seconds and that would just, I get caught in a time loop and never get out. So Tammy is shaking her head at me. I will get to the toast. Let's do this. So thank you all for joining us. As is our thing we do here at No Theater on opening nights, we like to have everyone together, the audience and the artist, to have a little toast for our accomplishments for the evening. Oh no, Zach is laughing at me. Are you laughing at me?
Not at you.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
It's not you. Happy birthday to you too, Jay.
Jay accidentally typed happy birthday when he meant happy opening.
Amazing.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Jay.
birthday, Jay.
It is surely someone's birthday. So
Exactly.
hooray.
We old people call that autocorrect. Damn that autocorrect.
This
Happy birthday,
is
Jay.
much like one of our opening night toasts at the No, with a lot of heckling from the audience. So thank you for making me feel at home. So yes, here we are on opening night. Go for joining us. Thank you for everyone who made this possible. First, let me give a shout out to our staff members here at No Theater. Our Associate Artistic Director, Tamara Winters, everyone. Yay! Our Artist and Community Relations Manager, Zach Robinson, everyone. Our Communications Manager, Liz Carmen. Yay! If we were doing this live, I bet Alex would either be working bar or box on one. And everyone else will be mentioned as we go through the production. So the production team, here we go. So first of all, normally I thank the production team first, but the production on this was a little crazy. So I'm going to talk about it in the second portion of this. So first of all, I want to thank our spectacular cast who worked in a very strange working environment to make this happen. Returning for her second main stage show, AJ Baldwin, everyone. Woo! Yes, woo! And making his main stage debut with us, David Armando, everyone.
Yeah.
Yay!
Congratulations.
So, you know, casts who have to work with me as a director, for one, already need to put up with me and the sort of inherent weirdness I bring to any room, which I appreciate. But they also had to deal with me and my telepresence robot, because I am, of course, 1,800 miles directing via Zoom. So for those, you can't see it in the space, but the way that I appear to them in the theater is I have a large barrel as a body, like a wooden barrel, and then my head is a laptop that sits atop that. And it is like the lowest budget form of steampunk that you can imagine.
Are we taking a picture?
Amazing. And also another thing that you should know is for the first the first few weeks of rehearsal, when we were in the space, for safety and to limit exposure, our actors were doing that masked until we got to run-throughs. And I say things frequently that I think are funny, but I don't know if other people necessarily do. and it is very difficult to be telling jokes to masked people and have no idea if things are landing or not. So yes, exactly. So I just appreciate so much our spectacular cast and what fantastic work they've done this whole process, both adapting to all of the weird technology that we're using and also bringing to life the characters in this really fun script that is it's a bit of a workout, especially as we get toward the end of the play with the rapid character switches and the costume changes. And I am just so grateful to them for doing the show and just doing such a spectacular job. So let's have a round of applause for our cast. Yay! And I want to give an additional shout out to our playwright, Christian St. Croix, who joined us this evening for the show, is not able to be here for the toast, unfortunately, but he's the one responsible for those lovely flowers on the cast table right there. Those are courtesy of Christian, and just such a lovely human who's been such a delight to work with, and this lovely script that we're able to produce, that we were so excited to do, that felt like the perfect thing to do in a sort of nebulous post-election season when we had no idea what the world would look like. And it's so great, and we hope to continue to work with him in the future. He's just such a great writer. Now I want to give extra thanks to our incredible hardworking tech team here at the Know. First of all, our costume designer, Noel Weddick Johnson, who put together these quintessentially 90s costumes, which enabled so many quick changes from a bow with magnets in it to just a series of quick sunglasses, and also indulged my request for 3 different kinds of sunglasses that could be worn through the course of the show. Noel always does great work, and it's just so great to have costumes that are so perfect for the show, our actors, and our characters. So let's have a round of applause for Noel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Noel.
Thank you.
Our resident sound and projections designer, Mr. Doug Borntrager. Yay! Doug put together, for one thing, had to put together a sound system that would work for live streaming, and then figure out how to adapt the way that cues would sound live for streaming, and also built a system with fallback positions so that, like tonight, when we had problems with body mics, our tech team was rapidly able to switch to area mics and solve everything. So, yay! And the actors had no idea. They have no idea that happened. But we were able to diagnose the problem and switch it over, and it sounded great. And all the cues worked, and it was amazing. And then also, Doug was part of this in terms of projection and media design, was part of a larger team that made a bunch of things happen on this show. And it's part of how everyone in small theater wears so many hats all the time. And it becomes especially true on this production. There were so many degrees of programming and so many degrees of complexity. And a lot of those were handled by our technical director and broadcast engineer, Henry Bateman. Who, Henry spent a really long time wrestling with the logistics of how to get video from the space to the internet. And I know he wanted to punch the internet in the face like a lot of the time. And that's difficult for an amorphous concept that has no face. So the amount of work that he put into all this making this happen can't be overstated, and is just incredible. One of the things that he did, which to support me as lighting designer from, again, across the country, is we were able to set up a system where I was able to control the light board from my office in California via my iPad. And the first time I turned in lights from my office, I just started laughing because I was so amazed and delighted. And it was so great. So let us have a round of applause for Henry and all of the technical wizardry he made happen. And then I would like to give, yes, our props and scenic artist, Kayla Williams, our design and production associate, who not only propped the show, painted the floor, painted the back wall, but did all of the super 90s doodles that we saw as graphics through the course of the show, which was really great. And then it was Henry, Kayla, and Doug all working in conjunction to figure out how to map those onto the back wall during the sitcom scenes and how to just make, oh no, my light turned off. My battery, oh, there it is. How to make all of those things work in the course of the show. And it was just such an incredible collaborative process. And so I want to give all of them another round of applause for just making all of that happen.
Yay! Tech team!
And then let's give a shout out to our composer in residence, James Allen, who composed for us a great theme song. That then Doug was able to remix in different ways and we were able to use in different forms throughout the whole show. And also quick shout out to our lead vocalist on the song, Daniel Chimisoro, and also our additional vocalists, AJ Baldwin and David Armando, who just did such a great job in putting it together. And I also want to thank James because they gave me the opportunity to pull out my saxophone and play a thing, which is always, it makes me happy when I get to do that.
You sounded great.
Oh, thank you. I also took some liberties with the sheet music that they gave me, so.
I know.
And then a huge shout out for the individual who makes all of this complexity go every night and throughout this whole process, our stage manager, Megan Winter. So here's the thing about this show. We have so many complicated pieces of equipment. We have the light board, which is running light cues. We have the sound computer, which is running sound and video cues. We have the camera switcher, which is running all the camera cues. So here's the deal. The video from each camera goes into an HDMI port in the switcher, and then the video from the sound and video computer goes into the fourth one of those, and then it gets cues that tell it which thing to do, and those are run through a computer running QLab, which is over there. Yeah. And so Megan built this master cue sheet that takes in all of the cues from my light cue sheet and all of the cues from Doug's sound cue sheet, and then all of the camera cues, and maps them out into this massively complex cue structure that's programmed in QLab so that she can press one go button, and with each single go, everything happens, all of the magic. And let me tell you, this is a lot of information to hold in one person's brain. And it is, so it's just so incredible and impressive that not only was Megan able to do the job of stage manager through this whole process of, wrangling me as director, and also, which is a challenge in and of itself, and then also, helping facilitate everything for the actors, facilitating everything in the space, making sure the space is safe and clean, making sure all of our COVID protocols are adhered to, and then on top of that, building this massively complex system to track everything. So, and stage managers are often unsung heroes of theater. And so I just want to make sure we're taking extra time to applaud Megan Winter this evening. Megan Winter, everyone.
Yay!
Yay! So now that I have thanked, is there anyone I've forgotten? Please tell me. If there's anyone I've forgotten. This is the time normally when someone has to whisper to me, "Hey." But no. Okay, great. I think we're good. Oh, I do one more special thanks. I want to thank Mickey Schaffner for doing all of our brilliant promotional photos that we then were able to use in our opening credit sequence that recurs throughout the course of the show. So good, so good.
She's
so
fantastic.
Yes, so totally 90s. One of the things that I love about this play, and one of the reasons that we did it, is because it takes a rather simple look at a look at a simple time, you know, or a way that a sitcom that looks at a period of time in a really simple, superficial way, and like blows off the dust of nostalgia and peels away the layers to give us a glimpse at what was really going on below the surface. And one of the things that the show talks about is when we see characters who are defined by one characteristic that then everyone sees without seeing the totality of their person. And I think one of the things that the show does is reveal the complexity of things that might be superficially simple. And even just looking at history as a whole and the level of complexity that is in history is a thing that I think is so important and ongoing right now. And I think as part of that complexity, even acknowledging that no theater is on the land, the traditional land of the Shawnee and Miami and Adena and Hopewell people and Osage people, all of these overlapping territories make for a complicated history of even just the place in which our theater is located. And our season this year is themed We Can Rebuild It. And it's thinking about how do we take this time and the challenges of living through a pandemic and of having a reckoning with history. How do we use that to rebuild a better kind of theater? And I think it's through acknowledging the complexity and even something as simple as realizing that someone is not just defined as a stage manager when they have all of these other skills and capabilities that they have to do. One character is not just a fashionista. An individual is not just a fashionista, is not just a surfer. We are not just labels that are imposed upon us. We have it's beholden on all of us to look for the complexity in each other and the world around us so that we can build a better world together. And I know that this is a comedy based on a very silly show from the 90s. But one of the things I love about this play is that all of this is in there. So thank you all for joining us on this opening night. And here is to building a better world together. Happy opening, everybody.
Cheers.
Happy opening.
Cheers.
Happy opening.
Happy opening, everybody.
Woo!
Happy opening.
Yay! Zach, did we have any questions from Facebook before we just go off on random tangents again and maybe
So
should
far,
stop
it's
live
just
broadcasting?
a lot of people saying happy opening and congratulating us. So thank you everyone for tuning in with us and congratulating. And we're also inviting you to toast with us. So another toast just for the audience. There we go. Toasties.
Toasties.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
guys.
showing up for us. That's all.